If you don't post much online, you might be way ahead of 99% of people. It's a strange thought, right? Most of us assume that silence online means nothing is happening. No updates, no new photos, no stories. Basically, no proof of life. So, naturally, people think, you must be falling behind. Your life must be so boring. You're totally missing out. But here's an uncomfortable idea from psychology. Sometimes, the people who share the least are the ones building the most. Because posting isn't just sharing anymore. Posting has become a performance. It's a way of saying, look at me, notice what I'm doing. Please validate this moment for me. And let's be honest, most people are hungry for that feeling. It's not because they're weak. Our brains are just wired to seek approval from others. But then, there's a small group of people who start to lose interest in being witnessed. It's not because they're depressed or have nothing to share. It's because something inside them quietly shifts. They stop needing external confirmation to feel like their experiences are real. The 99% post to turn their life into proof. The other 1% often stop posting because they no longer need that proof to believe in their own progress. And this brings us to the first major difference. The 99% live for the reaction. The 1% live for the result. The average mind is constantly asking, how will this look to other people? But the rare mind asks a different question. Will this still matter in 5 years? When you don't post much, people might assume you're inactive. What they do unsee is the hidden advantage. You are no longer wasting precious emotional energy on curating a public identity. Instead, you're channeling all of that energy into building a private reality. A reality that's rich and meaningful to you, not just to an online audience. There's a silent shift that happens to many of us. At first, you post just for fun. Then, you start posting for connection, to keep in touch with friends and family. Then, it subtly changes, and you start posting for validation. And then one day, you wake up and you just don't feel like posting at all. The dopamine hit from likes and comments starts to feel cheap, and the peace that comes from anonymity starts to feel incredibly valuable, like a luxury. Your brain begins to realize something powerful, and maybe even a little dangerous in today's world. You can live a full, vibrant, and exciting life without turning every single moment into content. Think about how we measure our days. The 99% often measure their days by attention. How many likes did I get? How many views? Who replied to my story? Who mentioned me? But the 1% measure their days by a different set of metrics. They measure it by the progress they made on their goals, the new skills they built, the discipline they kept, even when no one was watching, and the peace they protected from the noise of the outside world. One of these lifestyles is loud in public, the other is quiet, focused, and absolutely lethal in its potential for growth. When you stop posting so much, a strange thing starts to happen. You become harder to track. People don't know what you're planning anymore. They don't know how far you've come since they last saw an update. They have no idea what you're becoming. And that, right there, is the point. Attention makes you visible, but privacy makes you powerful. Here is another truth that nobody really likes to admit. Most people post when they feel empty. They share to feel alive. They upload to feel seen. They refresh their feed over and over to feel chosen. But when your life becomes truly meaningful on its own, you become too busy living it to stop and document it. The 99% feel the need to show their happiness to the world. The 1% are busy protecting it. And then we get to the deepest psychological layer of it all. When you don't post much, you stop outsourcing your self-worth. You no longer need strangers on the internet to confirm your joy. You stop letting algorithms decide your value. You stop needing a round of applause just to feel like you exist. And in a world that's obsessed with external validation, that is an incredibly rare and powerful state to be in. So, remember, silence online is not always emptiness. Sometimes, it's intense focus. People think power has to be loud and flashy, but real power moves quietly. It doesn't need to announce its every move. It just accumulates, day by day, in the background. If you're someone who rarely posts, you might relate to this. You probably feel more real and more yourself when you're offline. You might hate the idea of turning your life into a performance for others. You likely enjoy the process of making progress more than you enjoy getting praise for it. You feel uncomfortable sharing your wins before they're fully realized, and you instinctively protect your plans from premature exposure. This isn't because you're antisocial or secretive. It's because your brain is wired for depth over display. The 99% update the world as they go. The 1% disappear, and they return completely changed. So here's an uncomfortable question for you to think about. If you stopped posting on social media today, would anyone still know who you are? For most people, that question is terrifying. It's a scary thought, but for those rare minds, it represents freedom. Because once the desperate need to be seen finally dies, the ability to become something truly real is finally born. So if you don't post much, it doesn't always mean you're behind. Sometimes it means you're ahead of 99% of people in the one race that actually matters. The quiet, personal race to become the person you always said you would be. The real question isn't, why don't you post? The real question is, what are you building right now that's so important it doesn't need to be seen by anyone yet? Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos on building a meaningful life.